Hey guys, Kyle Kochenko here from Strength Ratio. We had a question last week about daily undulating periodization. So I thought I'd do my best today to kind of go across all of the ideas of periodization and some of the different terms that we hear out there. So typically we hear of like traditional, linear periodization, nonlinear, non-traditional, undulating periodization, and then conjugate or block periodization. So those are a lot of confusing terms, and people kind of interchange them in the literature, and that's because there really is only one type of periodization. As I go through this, that will all make sense. So typically with traditional or linear periodization, linear is very synonymous to progressive overload, meaning you're just going to try to add 5 pounds, do more volume than you did last block. Things are just going to get progressively harder. Traditional kind of goes towards the idea that we're going to go like a hypertrophy block, into a strength block, into a power block, where things are going to kind of be set up so that one fitness characteristic potentiates the next fitness characteristic, potentiates the next fitness characteristic. So that's kind of your classical, traditional, or linear model of periodization, where you have these wave-like changes in volume and intensity. So kind of with this idea, volume's highest there, goes down a little there, and goes down even more in power, but intensity is lowest here, a little higher here, and a little higher there. So that's your classical, traditional, linear model. Now, you get these other words, non-linear, non-traditional, or undulating. Very simply, that's just variation to changes in volume and intensity. So something like that, you kind of usually see the DUP, which is daily undulating periodization. And an example of that would be like day 1, if you did 3s, day 2, did 5s, and day 3, you did 15s. Now that would be your classical daily undulating periodization that you might see. But we can also expand this to weekly or monthly, where you might do these 15s week 1, week 2 do 5s, and week 3 do 3s, or monthly, and this would kind of look something like this, more like your traditional linear model, monthly, month 1 15s, month 2 5s, and month 3 you get 3s. So that's kind of your basic understanding of undulating. It's really just changes in volume and intensity. There's nothing fancy there. And your last one, conjugate or block periodization. Well, conjugate really just means changing exercises. There's no fancy thing there. A lot of people have heard of this from Westside Barbell, but very simply, conjugate just means changing exercises. And block, it's just changing, or rather picking a specific fitness characteristic to focus on for a whole mesocycle, which is anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks. So that kind of comes back to the traditional or linear model, where maybe for 4 weeks you're focusing on hypertrophy, 4 weeks you're focusing on strength, and 4 weeks you're focusing on power. So you can see how all these kind of interact with each other. And they really come back to this one idea of periodization, where you'll pick a single fitness characteristic, focus on it for a little bit, and then focus on another one, and focus on another one, so that they all potentiate each other, and you get to be a different person at the end of your macro cycle. So the question really isn't which type of periodization am I doing, it's how much or how little of each of these. So how fast am I adding progressive overload week to week? Am I only adding 5 pounds week to week? Am I adding an extra set? Am I adding 2 sets? How am I undulating my volume and intensity? So am I doing 15s, 5s, and 3s? Am I doing maybe a heavy squat on a Monday and then a light day on Thursday for the squats? And then every 4 weeks, am I changing out exercises to add a variation there? So maybe like a wide stance squat 1 week or one mesocycle, and then a close stance squat, another mesocycle. So that's a very basic understanding of these three. For a farther knowledge, I would recommend reading Juggernaut's There Is Only One Type of Periodization by Greg Nuckols, and then the second article by Mike Israetel, and watching Nick Wickelman's NSCA YouTube video on athlete profiling. Both of those together really go deep down into this subject, and if you read and watch those videos, then you'll probably know a lot about this. But this is just a beginning basic understanding. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Like, comment, share, and if you want to, we can try to go deeper into this in the future. Thanks, guys.